Photosensitivity warning. A small percentage of people may experience seizures when exposed to certain light patterns or images. Even with no history of epilepsy or seizures, please review the safety information in the product manual, also available on Bethesda.net manuals. All right, I have my goggles on and I'm ready to play. My name is Sloth154 and welcome to Ghostwire Tokyo Prelude. This was the preview demo or preview of the lore to Ghostwire Tokyo. Now, last Wednesday was my finale, and today I will be playing this as I go into a week-long into a break for next week as I record and figure out what I'm doing next. I'll also continue Snowfall, which its finale will be next in 2 weeks, and the finale, it leaves me asking what. So if you like this video, comment, like, and subscribe. It does help the channel. Check out the description. I'll have a link to the playlist to the entire Ghostwire Tokyo series. Along with this, I might just put this at the front of it. So if you're watching the playlist of this in the future, this helps. Oh god, no, I have to keep this at the end. I don't want to give out spoilers before people watch the whole series. Also back with me is 002. No, wait. Yeah, 002. Yeah, he wasn't ready for this. Alright, new game. Rinko? God damn it, Rinko. Erica! I wish I could do KK's voice. No one wants to talk about it, but all that's on anyone's mind these days. Mysterious things are happening all around Shibuya. Sightings, attacks, disappearances, fear. How is a kid supposed to be a kid in a time like this? Ignore it. That's how we all did it. But honestly, Ryota never really was like most kids. He's not usually glued to his phone all day. The Karigi Gogo. A bunch of vanishings. Ryota's concerns bring him to a mysterious case file posted online. It's titled The Kirigaoka Vanishing. He reads it to himself the best he can. Having tracked another report of dark fog to the area, I arrived to find it had passed, leaving dreary rain hanging over the neighborhood. At the scene, all we found were clothes of a mother and a son left behind, like two molted cicada shells. It's hard to even imagine. A parent and her child just gone. Precious lives, snuffed out forever. My heart sank knowing that I failed to protect them. It was the worst feeling I've ever felt. As if on cue, the rain started pouring down. Heavier and heavier it fell with each passing minute, but I couldn't be bothered to take out my umbrella. That's when the obvious culprits returned to the scene of the crime. A group of monsters. They had umbrellas of their own, as if rain followed them wherever they go. I was furious. I brought hell down onto them at that very moment. They tried to protect themselves with the umbrellas, but I just kept pounding on them until they were battered and broken. I was so exhausted I could have fallen over at any moment, but my utter wrath kept me going. As I picked up to leave, I still refused to open up my own umbrella. I just walked away, rain pouring and soaking me to the bone. KK. Again, I would love if I could do KK's voice. He's one of my favorite voice actors too. Unable to shake the idea that monsters are all around him, Ryota navigates on his phone to a document called The Moronoichi Vanishing. The language is complicated, but he works to understand it. It says, I got a tip on a missing woman from Moronoichi. When you've been a detective for as long as I have, you tend to build up a big network of contacts. The story my contact told me was that they saw a woman one day when the fog rolled in. It blanketed the area, and then poof, she was gone. Times like these make me wish a certain somebody was around. Come to think of it, the fog and these disappearances set the scene for when I first met the rest of my crew. Everybody kept talking about folks just up and disappearing, and I thought it was a load of horse shit. Wasn't until I met them and until my encounter that I believed. Ever since then, I've been haunted by what I would have once called hallucinations. Turns out being able to see spirits and monsters isn't fantasy movie nonsense after all. Sounds like hell to me. Guess I should be thankful, because otherwise I wouldn't have seen through that monsters taking the form of a woman. She made a bunch of red orbs appear that chased me around, but I knew as long as I didn't let myself get surrounded, I'd be okay. This all would have been good information if I had it before I started the game. She was a nightmare to look at, so I put her out of her misery. When I searched the scene, I spotted a woman's handbag. Found the missing lady's ID card in there. And then I came across some clothes that looked like they would have been hers. They're in a little pile, but the way they had fallen made it clear her body just vanished. No mistaking whose handiwork it was. Either I'd finally managed to get my hands on a solid enough lead to work with. KK. Oh. Kirigaoga? In these posts, the kid had found something, or rather, someone. Someone called KK has been looking into monsters in this part of town. A believer, just like Ryota. Social media would never lie, and that means KK is an expert. Maybe the expert in all of things paranormal. Kid, that's a bad mentality. Social media lies all the time. There's only one thing left to do. Having pored over every story, post, and grainy photo about local monsters he could find, Ryota prepares to take action. I'm gonna ask this KK guy to help. Just gotta figure out where he lives first. Sagasu? Google? Okay. Just gotta figure out where he lives first. Ah, Ghostwire. That's the name of their company? Dear Mr. Investigator person. So Ghostwire is their ghost hunting company. Rinko. Okay. Dear Mr. Investigator person. Hello, how are you? I am not good and I need your help. Monsters got my best friend Sosuke. Rinko sits up in her chair. She zeroed in on one of a dozen monitors across the makeshift command center stuffed into this cramped Tokyo apartment. It happened near a manhole. Please help me get him back. That's one of the KK case files. Data flies across the screen, seemingly too much. Charts and graphs, mathematical equations, even social media feeds and open case files. Somehow, through all the screens and all the clutter, Ryota's message catches Rinko's eye. Sounds desperate, but it could just be some bored kid trolling us. Calm and confident, Rinko insists on balancing compassion with skepticism in her analytical approach. It's a lot of big words, my brain hurts. On the other hand, that manhole is within the vicinity of several recent incidents. Maybe he is involved. She knows what she thinks, but she also knows no one can protect Tokyo all by themselves. Trusting your teammates is the only way to keep everyone safe. What do you make of it, Ed? Oh, that's what Ed looks like. Ed squints and takes a single deep breath as he turns to the screen. He has something to say but holds it back. Technology is easy, people are hard. Instead of speaking up, he places a small recorder on his desk, presses play, and as the audio begins to roll, Ed turns and walks away. I've heard intriguing stories about so-called manhole girls. Okay, gotta get my mind out the gutter. Gotta keep 069 away. Let's try this one more time. I've heard intriguing stories about so-called manhole girls in Japan. Vengeful ghosts of bully students said to trick other children into following them into the sewers, from where they never return. If any information turns up about such anomalies, I'd be keen to investigate. Though I speak purely out of personal interest, it might not be enough to make the rest of my team pursue it without further evidence. Okay, safe to say, since you've found the time to record something this specific about a single urban legend that you want to look into, Ed is already engrossed in other works. He doesn't respond. He certainly doesn't notice when Rinko rolls her eyes, and he really does. Probably best we have no idea how you spend your free time, huh, Ed? Erica's been sitting next to Rinko this entire time, listening and waiting for the right time to chime in. The time is, want me to check it out? I don't think so, Erica. Could be dangerous. What if something happens to you? Seriously? You still don't trust me to go out by myself for 5 minutes in the middle of the day? At just 16 years old, Rinko might be right not to trust Erica on something dangerous. But Rinko knows that Erica has shown maturity beyond her years. Doesn't change the fact that she's 16. I was very mature beyond my years, and I got into all kinds of shenanigans. She gives Erica an almost sisterly look of skepticism. No, it's not that. Rinko quickly turns back to her monitors and away from Erica. But for all her maturity, Erica can't quite keep from pouting. Stop making that face. Besides, we got our own private detective in the vicinity already. I'll have him take a look. The stall is brimming as a wide array of customers eat in relative silence. The only sound they make is the slurping of their noodles. The silence breaks when a phone begins to vibrate upon the countertop. The owner ignores it, choosing to focus on his meal instead. The phone doesn't care about his hunger and continues to vibrate. The phone wins. The peace and solitude has shattered. This is no way to enjoy noodles. God damn it! The silent diner finally glances at the screen. He begins to mutter to himself. Another case. These people have me working harder than my enemies ever did. Can't even get 5 minutes to enjoy a nice, quiet lunch. Let me guess, I'll be risking life and limb. That's why you let it ring for so long? Too scared to pick up? Ha! You know the exact day I stopped being scared of anything. The day you stopped being a loner and hooked up with us so we could have your backs? Sure, that works. Besides, I'm not fool enough to pretend this team isn't half okay. If you need backup, you know I'll be there. No questions asked. I actually already volunteered, but right now there's nothing dangerous to be worried about. It's a simple check-in on a report of some suspicious activities that might be connected to these phenomena we've been looking into. It's always the simple cases that go south the fastest. You know what? You're right. Maybe Erica should run point on this one. She's just a kid, but you're busy, so... Whoa! Hold up now. Hold your horses. I never really understood why you people cut their hair that way. It has to feel cold and unbalanced and cold. Let's not sacrifice the rookie to make me look bad. I'm already out. Send me the info and I'll get to it. First, though, I need to talk to the one of you about something. Let's go with Ed. Ed, I'm betting you have a file on this already. Got a file on everything. Funny you should say that. I have files dedicated solely to listing subjects that I don't have more complete files on yet. Want me to pull them up? Just give me the highlights. Unfortunately, what I know about the legend of the Manhole girl, wink, so far is that it's just that, a legend. There may not be anything else to know. It appears to be a story passed around by kids at sleepovers. Wouldn't be the first time something that isn't supposed to be real attacked me in a dark alley. If you're worried, maybe it's time I return to the field work. When I wear my hat, I blend right into Tokyo. No, you don't. Funny, I would never mark you for a Tokyo native. Then again, this place is absolutely crawling with tourists, isn't it? Thanks for the insight. I'll take it from here. Oh, I couldn't talk to all of them. But yeah, legends like that have can become something called a tulpa. Famous type of tulpa is Candyman from the movie series. He's a tulpa. If a subject or a thing is completely laid out to where everyone, even people who have never really experienced it, knows what it is, it could develop a conscious of its own and become a spirit or physical being. That's why Candyman is a tulpa. All right, let's get back to this. I like Candyman movies. I just also wish I could do that voice. Ryota doesn't notice the people passing him on the street. They don't notice him either. He is young, but he is very much alone. His focus is centered on the small bit of paper in his hand. After a couple folds, the paper finds a familiar configuration. With the head, arms, and body, it takes its shape. A palm-sized person stands in his hand. As Ryota inspects his creation, someone who's been observing him from afar steps out of the shadows. What you got there? Want some candy, kid? This kind of situation Ryota's looking up. Ryota, run! He's a stranger who stepped out of the shadows. Ryota looks up. He's nervous but clutches the paper doll in his hands and to stay brave. He's not running or hiding despite the gruff stranger staring at him. That's how kids get kidnapped. No need to be afraid. That's the worst thing you can hear from a stranger. I'm not here to do anything bad to you or your little friend. That's another bad thing to hear from a stranger. Gotta admit, I've been known to carry the odd paper doll with me on investigation. Strange habit, I know. But you get the benefits of a partner without the annoying small talk. Ryota's shoulders ease. He lets his guard down and he listens to the detective and re-examines the folded paper. Ryota, you are the perfect kidnap victim. He didn't even say who he was or show you any proof of who he was, and now you're relaxed? No, stay alert. He might have a van nearby. The detective surprises himself with his playful tone. He's rusty, but somehow still feels comfortable talking to this scared kid. It doesn't sound good. Out of context, this is a kidnapping waiting. Sometimes paper dolls are used for magical purposes. God, you a sorcerer by chance? Now's the time to tell me. So you really are him, huh? God, this kid is just a red flag. Gonna have to be more specific, kid. You're KK, the ghost hunter from the files. You must be. I thought you'd be taller. Fuck you, kid. They say you solve strange mysteries, right? KK, maybe. The detective looks closely at Ryota's phone. He sees the social media posts featuring photos of various case files he has worked on, collected in one place. Look, I only use those initials because writing out my name is a pain, and I got too much pain already. Not your problem, right? Anyhow, that's me, KK. But I'm not a ghost hunter, I'm a detective. KK's demeanor hardens a bit, dropping the playfulness. You want an investigator, kid? Well, you got one. I'm so glad you're going to look into the disappearances at the Manhole. Here's the thing, I already did. Made some calls on the way here. There's no record of any recent disappearances. Still got a few friends on the force, so I can dig up dirt quick. KK shoots Ryota a serious look. Not trying to pull a fast one on me, kid. On me, are you, kid? It's true, honest. My buddy Sosuke disappeared. He hasn't come back home since yesterday. Last place I saw him was right back here. Ryota motions to the alleyway behind him. He went down that way. I tried to follow, but I couldn't find him. He was completely gone. If Ryota is bluffing, he's an incredible liar. A sadness comes over him when he looks back towards the alley. KK looks back and forth from the kid, then to the alleyway behind him. All alleys are dark, but this one looks like it's never seen daylight. See any fog when that happened? The moment he disappeared? Now that you mention it, there's been something spooky around, like a kind of fog or darkness. But it came and went. Alright, KK mutters something to himself as he eyeballs the alleyway behind Ryota. Nothing looks immediately out of place with so much going down in the city. Some kids getting lost doesn't exactly seem like front page news. I'm gonna press for more information. I need more to go on, kid. Why are you so convinced he was taken? Didn't happen to anyone else around here. But it did happen to my best friend. Sosuke's been missing for 2 full days. Everyone's been looking, but no one can find him. What about his parents? Have they filed a police report? I'm the only one who really cares about Sosuke. I know he needs me. And no one else is even looking for him anymore, just me. He's lucky to have you. It's like when you saw crows circling above the building in one of your cases you investigated. You knew there was something more to it than everyone else. Well, Mr. KK, I know there's more to Sosuke's disappearance. I just need your help. You really did your homework, huh? I'm impressed. You're more dedicated than most adults I know. You remind me of my friend, Erika. She lost someone too, and she'll never stop fighting for them either. KK takes another glance at the alleyway. Alright, show me exactly where this Sosuke pal of yours disappeared. Ryota perks up. So you're gonna look into it? I'm here, ain't I? Let me check in with my team, see if they figured out anything. Could save us some time. KK reaches for his phone. What's up? We're all here. I just need a quick word with one of you to follow up on what the kid has told me. Who do I want to talk to? I'm gonna talk to Rinko. You find anything else? I know you've been searching all over your fancy computer. Some worrying details have started to emerge. The type of details that mean he is for sure involved. Social media is starting to fill up with posts about an appearance of a mysterious dark fog. It's been popping up in neighborhoods with similar data sets to the one Ryota called from. School absences are also on the rise. I can't confirm if those represent actual disappearances or just spook kids trading scary stories, but it's clear fear and paranoia are taking hold. Yeah, figured out that much. You really? Oh, really? You carry a fear and paranoia detector now. Did Ed develop that when I wasn't paying attention? God, I'm not reading this well. Years on the force are what gave me my fear detector. You can't beat experience. But I do appreciate your input, even if I already knew it all. Ryota. It's time to find Sosuke. Nothing looks out of place, but things are rarely what they seem. KK slowly but deliberately reaches out his hands. He's not holding onto anything, but you think that he is by the way he's moving. He's got something invisible dangling from his fingertips. Ryota has no clue what he's trying to do, but he watches closely. However, what happens next can only be seen by KK's eyes. As KK opens his fingers, a sparkling orb of energy drops from his hand onto the ground. It ripples like water in a still pond, energy flowing outward into the world. Ah. Yep, there's some shit in that goddamn manhole. Oh, fuck. Oh, the kid's dead. A strange trail floats into view, as though a spirit has passed through this place. Psychic energy? A trail leads further on, deeper into the alley and out of view. Guess he went that way. Puzzled, Ryota follows KK's eye line down the alley, but he sees nothing out of the ordinary. What happened? I don't see anything. Trust me, kid. It's good you can't see it. This is a power you don't want. And you're too young for it. To take a risk like that and change your life forever. The world's a scary place. It keeps getting worse. We're going to find your friend and get you back to your life. I don't like how that transition. KK and Rinko are in big trouble this time, running like rats desperate to stay alive with only a dingy old sofa between them and monsters. We better find another exit. Rinko turns to KK and sees him holding his head. He appears to be in great pain. Damn, it's happening again. Your body is reacting to the ether. As KK looks at the room, his vision begins to break in half. He tries to focus, but rather than reform, everything continues to split apart even further. This is part of the photosensitivity warning. If you're having troubles, if you're feeling dizzy, just skip past this part. Another hallucination. The world is breaking into two. That be crystallized ether, another form of matter. Sounds like your body has entered the final stages of affinity. From thin air, like phantoms, these horrific visitors appear surrounding KK and Rinko. Damn, we're surrounded. Mr. KK? Are you okay? Huh? Sorry, kid. My mind can be a little hard to control. You just kind of stood there for a while. Sometimes my memories take me places. Hate to leave you alone again, but you need to wait here while I look for your pal. Sit tight. I won't be long. A report on Rinko's computer setup flashes on the screen. Ed's monitoring software has a hold of something big. The results are clear. Spiritual residue, and it's exactly at KK's location. What is it now? We just received an alert. There was a massive surge of spiritual energy at your location. Hold off on pursuit until we're able to send support. Can't wait forever for you guys. We might have a missing child on our hands. We got plenty of evidence. I know what I'm getting myself into. Remember, fog reports are increasing. There's fear in the streets. Time to act. Of course, I know those things. I'm the one who told you. I also know how dangerous it is getting out there. This time could be even worse than the last. What if he shows up? Wish he would. Excited to see that mask snapped in two when I put my fist to it. Oh, we do worse. It's not fair. It's not fair to ask us for help when you think you need us. Then use our words against us when you're too impatient to act as a team. We're in this together. KK decides to address one team member specifically to make his case. Gotta talk to Erica. What Erica and I have been through, I don't expect anyone else to understand. Hell, I barely understand it. Here's what I do understand. I take risks so others don't have to. And yeah, you all do the same thing. That's why I'm proud to call you my team. But it has to stop somewhere. A line needs to be drawn. We aren't the vulnerable ones who need your protection. We're all strong, and that strength multiplies when we work together to help others. You two are special to me. Both of you. And I think I understand where you're both coming from. It's just that this torment. Once that power has gotten inside of you, the affinity, it won't let you rest. It's like being chased. We're running from something awful. I'm sorry that I'm not making sense. I just can't be quiet right now. I have to speak my truth. I have to support whatever decision he makes. The truly selfish act would be to stand still and let it overtake you. In the end, I know that I would do the same thing. Let's hope you never have to. Erica, you kind of fuck up the whole mission. I'll talk to you later. I'm in the middle of an investigation. He was never any good at following people's direction. That attitude of his is precisely what saves our hides on countless occasions. You don't think I realized that? Ed? Erica smiles, thinking about KK's attitude. It doesn't bother her. Damn, they're everywhere. KK's eyes dart between the two horrific figures and to some incredibly strange glowing crystal that hovered nearby. As he tries to speak, KK wheezes painfully. Rinko, what would happen if someone tried to touch one of those ether crystals? Your guess is as good as mine. Might give you the power to fight back, might just make you even more miserable. Who can say? What about him? Did it grant him strength? Rinko nods silently. After getting his answer, KK without hesitation stretches out his hands outward to the crystal. Wait, stop! Stopping's not an option, not for us, not for any of us. You don't know what will happen. It could kill you. And those things won't. We're dead if we don't try something. We're out of options. You can always go with my option, which is to jump. You've thrown away everything to fight these monsters, same as me. There's not a goddamn thing left to lose at this point. Before Rinko can say anything else, KK reaches all the way out. Oh, wind ether. KK follows the trail of psychic energy deeper into the dark Shibuya alleyway, away from the glow of familiar streetlights and vending machines. His venture into the unseen brings him to a manhole cover where the spirit residue flashes with an eerie intensity. The spot is clearly the origin point for whatever spirit is at the center of this mystery. Did it take you this way, Sosuke? KK looks around again and finds nothing focuses his attention on this haunted manhole. The spectral vision shows KK a lot more than he thought it might, revealing a glowing specter hovering in this dark, dreary place, the spirit of a man in his 30s. A Jabakure. According to Japanese lore, this type of spirit is trapped in a physical location. Okay, Spectre, what's keeping you tied down here? The Spectre seems unable to answer him. Instead, he mutters, as if distracted or perhaps completely delirious. Either or, maybe both. Spectres aren't especially concerned with politeness and clarity. Neither of us is going anywhere until I get some answers. I need to know, what are you doing here, specifically at this manhole cover? Why haunt this place? I thought it was a kid. Just a kid playing around. Just having fun, alone. I wanted to make sure he was safe. So just being neighborly, eh? Yes. No, not making friends, protecting. But he wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't a kid, was it? There was something else. Something lurking in these shadows. Did I die? I think I died. But this isn't what I expected. What was it? Monster. A monster. The specter points downward. Underneath, huh? KK stares at the manhole as though if he just looked hard enough, he'll suddenly see what lurks in the darkness beneath its cover. He doesn't have to see the specter nod to know he's right. It went that way. Before he can pull up the manhole cover and see for himself, a long shadow creeps in from the edge of the alleyway. Did you find anything? Snooping around is detective business. You don't belong back here. I thought I heard you talking to someone. Who is this youngster? Only I can hear you, so don't bother. Only you can hear me? Well, sure, nobody else is even here. This is turning into a damn clown show, kid. I need you to stay here while I go down. It's not safe for you there. Not safe. Not safe. Monster. But how do you know I'll be safe up here? My team is one call away. They'll get here quick if you're in danger. Weren't you just saying something about being in the middle of an investigation and too busy to talk to anyone? Funny you should mention that. I could actually use some help. I believe they called it client services. Who are you calling, mister? Are they nice like you or nicer? Client services? Sounds more like babysitting to me. If only you would just wait for us to get there. We play the hands we're dealt, and juggling work and childcare has never been my strong suit. Need a little support. Rinko sighs, a long, tired sigh of a frustrated person who knows that in the end, of course, they'll help. She'll always help him, just as he will always help her. And I have the perfect candidate in mind. Erica? Erica, she's the only kid I actually know and like anymore. Hey, KK, you need my help? I can be there ASAP. I do need your help, but it can wait. My new friend Ryota, the one who called us for help. Is he a little afraid of you? What? No. Why would you think that? I mean, yeah, maybe a little. I did come off as a kidnapping pedophile when we first met, but that was just taken out of context. If you watch it out of context, I didn't mean any harm. But no, that's not it. Although it'd be better if he did fear me, then I could do my work. Oh, yeah, you aren't really that scary. I think I get it. Let me talk to him. KK hands his phone to Ryota and motions for him to accept this call. Yes? Is this Mr. Ryota? Yes. I'm so excited that I get to speak to you. I've heard that you're quite the investigator. I need help from someone like you. What could I do to help you? Well, our friend who is there with you, he actually has 2 missions. Since he's looking for your friend, maybe you could swap and look for my friend. If we share the responsibility, I'm sure we can achieve success together as a team. I suppose I could try to help you, since he is helping me. But first, can you keep a secret? It's very important and related to this mission. Yes, I'm the best of secrets. I won't tell you how I know that, but it's true. My friend is a cat. I put a tracker on her collar that says she's nearby you, in the alley by your house. I miss her dearly, and I'm a little embarrassed to admit it, but some of my best friends are animals. Your secret is safe with me. What does she look like? She is all black with one white spot and a few white whiskers. Her name is Monette, like the painter. Monet, like the painter. And she really likes to hide. Could you look closely in between and behind all the vending machines and trash cans? Just to be safe, text me a picture of every dark corner you find. She's very good at camouflage and easy to miss. I will find your friend. Ryota hands the phone back to KK and turns his attention to the nearest trash can. Phone out, he seems to be inspecting each side of it. Lucky for you, your new buddy is an animal lover just like me. I've given him a rescue mission to find a missing cat and send me a photo of it. But what if he succeeds? Tons of strays here. You might actually bump into one. I can always use more cat pics. Text it to me. Maybe he'll give it to a home that needs it. Win-win. Now to get down there and find your pal Sosuke. Dirty water splashes under KK's feet as he makes his way through the still darkness of Shibuya's sewers. The further he goes, the darker it gets, but not because of any changes in light. No, this darkness is unnatural. In fact, not darkness at all. It's tangible. Dense fog made of spiritual energy fills the air. Toxic, paranormal waste coats the ground and plugs the drain. Oh! But the air itself is rejecting him. This corruption flows between worlds and reaches around him, blocking KK's way. How long has this been building up, right below our feet? Is it like this everywhere? As KK goes deeper, the karage only increases. There's definitely something here. This much corruption swirling around, nothing I can't handle though. Alone in the darkness, KK summons his powers and... There you go. Oh, that was bad. Cleanses the corruption, returning the sewer to its normal state. That's better, minus the stink. With the cake area now cleared, as if they were waiting for a moment of safety, someone appeared. Sosuke, is that you? No, that's the worst fucking thing I've ever had to go against. That and the red form. Small boy avoids KK's look, turning his back and picking at something on the wet ground. Splish splash, I was taking a bath in the sewer and my mom got mad. Hey, you kid. Kid, you okay? Can you hear me? Are you hiding from something? Take a bath. Take a bath. Come on, kid. This isn't the time or place. Answer me. I'm not trying to scare you, but you gotta work with me here. In the vast darkness of the sewer, the sounds of KK's phone suddenly ring out. The tinny chime echoing back and forth around the hollow space. The small boy in the raincoat doesn't seem to notice. He must be very preoccupied. I'm close. I found Sosuke, but I'm worried he won't. Down so far, the signal to KK's phone is barely holding on. He can only make out a few sounds and struggles to make out words they might be forming. Muffled sounds. Hello? Is anyone there? Rinko, is that you? Ed? Erica? Who is this? I need Ed. Ed, can you hear me? Are you with Ryota? Can you ask him, was Sosuke wearing a yellow raincoat? The scratchy connection makes it almost impossible to understand. Sosuke. It's about Sosuke? Not. Ed, I can't understand you. Sosuke is not what? Not Sosuke. The call cuts out. The phone's going dead in KK's hand. Damn. Enough screwing around. Sosuke! Just like that. Finally, as if called by his mother to come to get dinner, the child responds. He stands up and turns to KK with his dead evil eyes. You're not Sosuke. You're the monster. KK raises his hand and calls forth an energy that he discovers that day long ago. That day he found his back against the wall, reaching out and touching the ether crystal. Ever heard of ethereal weaving? Monster? Energy surges into KK's hand, green light winding and glowing, charging around his fingers, increasing in bright glows, illuminating the tunnel. You know what? This reminds me of the spirit gun from Yu Yu Hakusho. Especially how he has his fingers. Increasingly bright light glows, illuminating the tunnel. And in that moment, standing in the center of the tunnel, we can see this monster, this raincoat visitor, just in time for it to press a child's whistle to its mouth. Oh, I fucking hate this. At a stranger's fingertips lies KK, now a prisoner. I need my subjects to remain calm or else nothing will get done. Despite being captive, KK flashes the stranger a fierce glare. You son of a bitch. Hello, my friend. I'm keen to see how useful your vessel turns out to be. The stranger takes out something and holds it in its hand. An amulet, though it's clearly not for simple decoration. It surges with power. He looks from the amulet and back to KK and smiles. As the monstrous little raincoat visitor blows his whistle, he steps back into the shadowy darkness. Running away, huh? Nope, he's calling for reinforcement. But he's not running away at all. In fact, he's only making space. Two much larger, far more horrifying visitors show up and challenge KK. Yes, the office worker is just a terrifying being. I've been waiting to run into you again. Let's go, you bastards. All right, let's go wind attack first. Gonna use that. Stunned it. Let's finish this off. You're done. Oh, that's a nice animation. The fight now over, the sewer is oddly calm again. KK sweeps the space, looking for any clues that may be left behind. Why would a pack of monsters manifest their evil here? Then he sees it, fixed to one of the walls in the tunnel. A wooden tag, sometimes called a kifuda. This must be what summoned those things. KK reaches out to take the kifuda down, but as his fingertips approach it, Rinko? God damn it, Rinko! Erica? KK feels a big, quick thump through his body. Oh, motherfucker. When he looks down, he sees someone else's arm stabbing through his chest. It's horrifying. Black smoke rushes out of his body. Looking back up, KK sees a man wearing a Hanya mask. You're... As KK comes to, he realizes that he's in the tunnel once again. No, he still looks at his chest. It's totally fine. No gaping hole, not even a scratch. Sweating, breathing heavily, his mind races. It was a horrible dream, maybe a vision. He grips the kifuda in his hand. I won't let you get away with this. So hard that it smashes into pieces. Oh. At that moment, KK realizes he's not actually alone. Distracted by his fury, he had missed the approach of someone new. Who's there? Surprised, he bends around to face this indie, but before he can raise his other hand, KK emerges from the tunnel to find Ryota waiting with the rest of the team. I recorded something that I would like to share with you. You see, I've never been as comfortable speaking from the heart as others around me. That said, I'm no fool. I can understand what it means to show emotion. I know that it's not something easily captured, no matter how sophisticated the recording. So I deleted it, and now I will do my best to express this directly to you. I'm glad that you're okay. Wow, Ed. That's deep. I mean, for you anyway. Yes, thank you for lightening the mood by mocking this moment of vulnerability. Anytime. All my instruments, devices, software, they tell a story. However, it's just that, a story. It's not necessarily the truth. It's an interpretation of the truth. Data is, of course, malleable. In the story that was told to me when we encountered this alleyway today, I'll just say, rather grim. Sorry that I scared you like that. Naturally, I prepared for numerous statistical viable conclusions. However, despite what the numbers tell me, I never made a plan for carrying on in your absence. I don't know what else to say. I'm flattered, I suppose, that you don't want to believe how likely I am to die. I have backup plans for my backup plans, but you're in all of them. Safely above ground, reunited with his team, KK turns his attention to the original source of all this drama, his young client, Ryota. You were never going to tell me, were you? Sosuke isn't your best friend, he's your dog. He's my dog and my best friend. KK steps back nervously as Sosuke tries to jump into his lap, tail wagging. Oh, it's a fucking dog. Oh, calm down. He just wants to be pet. Jeez, who would have thought that such a tough as nail former detective would have such a strong phobia around dogs? Don't have to broadcast it, alright? Don't be scared. Sosuke loves everyone. Maybe he should draw the line at loving monsters and following them into the goddamn sewers. They stink, kid. Oh, fuck. And the dog's been... Oh, God, he's letting him lick his face. Ryota hugs his dog and gets a face full of licks in response. KK relaxes slightly, seeing how harmless this little dog is, but still keeps some distance. It's been in the sewer for 2 days. It's licking his face. Of course I would stay away. Thank you so much for bringing him home safely, Mr. KK. Mr. KK, what an adorable alias. When exactly did you start going by this new short nickname, KK? I suppose it has been a fun ring to it, not quite as formal as your full name, Before we get to sidetrack, As the lead investigator on this one, you got some paperwork to do, KK. Not sure what's worse, fighting monsters or filling out all these damn forms. I mean, seriously, we're a rogue organization, and why the fuck do I have to fill out forms? We can't even get insurance. It's obvious that you prefer the fighting to the paperwork. KK scribbles out a few quick lines, only Ed can read them. Hey kid, this is for you. Oh, is it a prize for helping you find that ghost? Almost, it's the bill. Ryota's face sinks as he's left holding the check. Lucky for you, today's work is pro bono. That means free. Consider this your receipt. I'm feeling generous right now. Ryota looks closely at the paper in his hands. It says, "Case of the cursed manhole, extermination complete. KK." Leaning in over his shoulders, Rinko lets out an uncharacteristically loud burst of laughter. Oh, now I get it. You didn't choose the nickname KK. Sloppy paperwork chose it for you. There's a lot in this life that we don't get to choose. Call me what you like. Not like I got any use for real names these days. Definitely not one of my old ones. It doesn't matter what anyone calls me as long as I find that bastard. KK gaze looks fierce as though he's recalling a bitter past. Reflected in his eyes is Ryota, who looks pleased to have received KK's autograph. KK's expression softens up in response. And that said, I guess KK is not so bad. Alright, so that's the end of the prelude. I'm going to sit through these credits like I always do. And then I'll give my final thoughts and tell you guys and flip a coin to decide if this is going to go on the beginning or the end of the playlist for Tokyo Wire. So I'll see you guys then. Alright guys, here we are at the end of Tokyo Wire. The complete end. So if I'm going to flip a coin right now. It's a quarter. Heads, I put this at the beginning of my playlist. Tails, I put this at the end. Either way, this will be part of the playlist for Ghostwire Tokyo. This gave you a little bit of insight into the characters of KK, Rinko, Ed, and Erika. There's still the fourth person in the group who we have not seen or know about from the picture. I think that might be Erika's dad, but oh well. So heads, let's flip it. Three shot kill. So first one is tails for the end. Tails for the end. All right, so I'm going to be putting this. So this is the end of the playlist if you're watching this now. I mainly wanted to record this because I thought it would be short, but I'm a slow reader and I tried to do it justice. So I'm going to be taking next week off. My videos will be continuing in the first week of June. I believe that will be it. Or the second week of June. I'm not really keeping count too much. Either way, videos will be back in 2 weeks. So if you like my videos, please comment, like, and subscribe. Tell me in the comment section what you thought about Ghostwire Tokyo as a whole. I'm still not sure if I should put this before or after, but either way, you'll be watching this. This will be part of the playlist for that series. I'll have links to other games I played on my other playlist for game series I played on my channel. If you made it this far to the end of the series, Prime thanks you. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.